welcome back to Twisted Life of TV. I am Poetry. You are here for PNTV. That's Poetry's News and Twisted Views. I'm going to give you a little bit about what I've seen in the trending topics over the past few days. And if you're not aware already, this month of October, I will be posting videos every day. There will be a variety of topics, a variety of time of days that they post, a variety of length of videos. But this one is a normal PNTV that comes out on every Thursday if you're new here. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel, like the video if you want to see more. I know I can't breathe right now. And comment on the video down in the comment section. We like to be engaged with you, whether you agree or disagree with the video itself. All right, so I was supposed to be doing a separate video. Well, actually, I was supposed to be doing a separate video on Tupac. I'm not going to do a separate video on Tupac, but I'm going to talk about it. Okay, so 5 days ago, there was a man named Keith. What the world is this man named? Child, let me get it back. I know his name is Keith. They just call him Keith for a nickname, but I want to get his whole name. Okay. So I got it written down here. I tried to put my notes. Why I don't know this? Keith Davis, child. Y'all know my last name Davis. I should know this man. That's why I'm in denial that this man name is Keith Davis. Keith Davis. But in the black community, we normally call people Keith with an F, and that's his nickname, Keith Davis. Keith Davis was indicted on murder charges for the death of rapper, my baby daddy, Tupac Amaru Shakur, actually named LaShawn Parrish. Okay. This has been a long time coming. It's been a long time coming. 27 years in the making. I was talking to, I believe it was it TR? I was talking to one of you guys the other day in the comment section about the situation, and I had mentioned that somebody had already been arrested. That was incorrect. Okay, so 1996, Tupac is in Las Vegas, and he is gunned down while riding in a vehicle with Suge Knight, and killed at the age of 25. Y'all know he's one of the most versatile rappers. He go from street to conscious, support of the ladies, had some of the legal troubles with the ladies before too, all kind of stuff. I'm not gonna necessarily say he's the greatest rapper of all time, although a lot of people believe he is. I just like the person. I met him when I was 16 years old. Fell in love with him then. He was background dancing for Humpty, for the Digital Underground, doing the Humpty dance. I met him, me and my play sister, Tony. Y'all met her on the channel a couple times. Or at least once y'all met her on the channel. And, I've been in love with him ever since. I was so much in love with him that my daughter was convinced he was her real daddy child. And that man had died 2 years before she was even born. That was one of the longest pregnancies in human history if Tupac was her daddy. But she didn't know nothing about that type of thing. She just knew Tupac was her daddy. Him and Allen Iverson, both of them was her daddy. She just didn't understand that she couldn't have more than one at a time. And she knew who her real daddy was too. But, she just knew all these people was her damn daddy. My baby had 3 daddies growing up. She was loved. So, it's been a long time coming for arrests have been made. 27 years in the death of Tupac Shakur. Now, there were 4 suspects. One of them was by the name Orlando Lane. They called him, or Orlando Anderson. They called him Baby Lane. He was the one who was named to be the shooter. There were supposedly 2 people in the back seat of the car. I don't know. When I'm watching the videos of it and the footage, I still don't see 2 people. But they said it was 2 people in the back seat of the car because that's where the gunshots supposedly came from. Now, Suge Knight, like I said, he was riding in the car too. He was supposedly hit, but he survived. He didn't have any long-term injuries. I'm still believing in my heart of hearts that Suge Knight had something to do with it. That's just me. Now, according to the news reports, the shooter that's connected, Keith, he had a connection with Bad Boy Records, which is, Sean Puffy Cone, and he was representing also Biggie Smalls, right? And they believing that this whole shooting stemmed from an East Coast West Coast beef. I still, in my brain, am still not connecting those dots either. I mean, because even though Biggie and Pac were good friends, even though they had a falling out, I don't think it was like, let me kill you falling out. But there was an incident that happened supposedly back in where Pac got jumped in the studio, and he believed he was set up, by Bad Boy Records. Okay, so that's where a lot of the tension. I think he got shot there too. And he was in the hospital for a long time. I remember that, and he didn't die in that situation. So he blamed them. So that that could spark a I'm gonna shoot you type of battle going on, of course. Well, anyway, the guy Orlando Lane, baby Orlando Anderson, Baby Lane. I'm just gonna call him Baby. I'm gonna just call him Orlando. Orlando was supposedly had a known beef with Tupac, according to reports. And I'm thinking, if this motherfucker got a known beef with Tupac, then why the fuck is he riding in the backseat of the car? Pac wouldn't have associated himself that closely in proximity to somebody that he got an actual beef with. Okay, earlier that night that there was a brawl that happened in Las Vegas casino that Orlando was involved in, and this was supposed to have been a retaliatory shooting based off of that situation. But again, they always have described Orlando as having beef with Pac. So why in the hell would he be riding in the backseat of the car? But that's the story that they gave us. There were supposedly four suspects, like I said. Orlando being the one who supposedly was the shooter. 2 years after that incident, Orlando died. So he was not arrested. And I had said that he had got arrested about this. Now, he was named, but he had not got actually arrested for it. The other four people that was involved, the two other ones, they died as well since then. And there was one remaining person, there was a person of interest that was a suspect that was left over, and that's the Keith guy. Now Keith is the one who gave up Orlando. Orlando was his nephew. He's the one who told the police that Orlando was the one who pulled the trigger. Okay. During that interview, he had also mentioned that he was the one. Oh no, he was supposed to have had some type of immunity by giving up that testimony. Basically, on the streets, he's considered a snitch. Plus the fact that he gave up his own nephew. All right, so back in July, a grand jury came together and started going through more evidence, more videos, more tapes. And Davis was arrested. Keith was arrested. Okay. During that arrest, they took hundreds of pages of transcripts. What all he had. There was data, computer data, like a jump drive. There was video. There was newspaper articles that they all obtained from Keith's residence, along with text messages and emails and things like that. It's been 27 years. Why are you holding on to this information? Why are you holding on to incriminating information? There was something else that also happened. He wrote a damn book called The Streets of Compton or something along that line. I don't know the exact title because I ain't trying to give him no shine with his money. But he wrote a book, and in the book he indicated that he was the one who he told the police he was the one that gave Orlando the gun. In the book, he indicated in there that he put the gun in the back seat of the car, making it accessible for Orlando to supposedly shoot Pac. So this incriminated him. He assumed that he had immunity because he the one that gave up Orlando. But like I said, when he told the police originally, he was the one that gave Orlando the gun, not necessarily to shoot Pac, but he gave Orlando the gun. I guess the gun might have been registered his name or what have you. But now come to find out he's the one that planted it in the damn car, according to his own book. So the book is also something that the police confiscated and gave to the grand jury. And after, a month, 2 months of deliberation with the grand jury, they decided it was time to indict. So Keith has now been arrested and indicted on the charges of murdering of Tupac Amaru Shakur. He goes to court next week. That was 5 days ago. So this is what, Thursday? Yeah, he goes to court next week on this case. I get to be arraigned to say whether or not he believes he's guilty or what have you, and then we find out what his trial date is going to be. Speaking of trials, we've been trying to follow the Trump trials in all of their entireties, but it's so damn many of them. Nobody gave me a link to the actual live footage of inside the court, so I'm assuming there isn't any. But I told y'all yesterday, I did a short video yesterday speaking about some other situations on the end of it. I was speaking about the GOP kicking out Pelosi and kicking out McCarthy and kicking out Steyer. I talked about that, but at the end of the video, I tapped onto a little bit about what was going on with the Trump case. And I mentioned that the judge issued a gag order on Donald J. Trump because he had put in the news that the judge's legal clerk was in a relationship with Chuck Schumer, and there should be reasons why the judge or none of these people should be trying him for this case, this, that, and the third, on top of the fact that his lawyers seem to be trying to retry the case in front of the judge. The case has already been decided. He's already been decided that he's guilty. So we're not trying to figure out if he's guilty. We're just trying to see the level of guilt that there is so they could apply the appropriate damages. Now, there are 6 other charges that have to be brought up during the trial. They haven't started on those yet. Right now, we're just working on the original one so we can assess what the damages are. Okay, so doing that gag order, which is what all these other judges have been threatening. If you say this one more time, we're going to spank your hand. If you say this one more time, we're going to put you in a corner, young man. That's basically all they've been doing, and they ain't did shit. They've been basically saying, I'm going to ground you, but you can use your phone right now. That's what they saying. This judge, I forgot to write his name down so I can pronounce it correctly. Because I got it in my head, but I may not pronounce it correctly. Aragon, something like that, Orogan. I'm going to have it right next time I talk about a child. He said, I don't have time playing with this motherfucker here. He is playing with the fucking judicial system. He is playing with the courts. He's trying to use the justice system as his free campaign trail. I ain't finna have it. You know what I'm saying? So he already said that he's already determined that the stuff is happening. This motherfucker overvalued. He overvalued his property, which is actually illegal. Okay, because he used it to get loans and insurance based off of the overvaluation. It gives him better rates and better premiums when the property value is very high. So just know that when your property value, you get better loans and stuff like that. But when it came to tax time, he would undervalue the properties to save on taxes. I mean, I think he had been doing it all along, and they said he'd been doing it for decades, 10 years worth. And so you ask yourself, why in 10 years have nobody ever brought this man to charges before? And that was one of the things that Donald Trump said. They could have brought this case years ago. I mean, are you admitting that you did it years ago? That you said that they could have brought this case years ago? The crazy thing that I found about all of these, at least this case, the Jack Smith case, the Fonnie Willis case, and it's not their cases, it's the Trump trials. But these are the prosecutors who are charging him, who are going to try these cases. What I found, and the lady's name is Letitia Green. I think I said her name wrong the other day. Okay. All of these AGs, all of these prosecuting attorneys are all new. They have all been in office less than 3 years. So they couldn't start this case when they first started because they had to gather the fucking evidence. Now, Letitia Green did run on the thing that she was going to, getting Donald Trump, in so many words, was part of her campaign trail. And she's living up to it. People mad at her. Like she said that she was going to target Donald Trump. She said that she was going to go after him. That was part of her campaign. You see, she's after me. You see, this is what we want our elected officials to do. If you say that you're standing on this such and such platform, and then that person actually does it, then how the fuck you mad at them? She said she doing what she said she was gonna do. She was gonna go after such and such criminal, and that's just what she's doing. So how can you be mad at her for doing that? How can you use that against her? That's part of her political campaign when she ran for office. Now she in office, she gonna sit back and say, you know what, I ain't gonna worry about him no more because all the previous people before him or before me decided not to do anything about him. I'm not that person. That same thing happened with Fonnie Willis, which I'm gonna talk about her a little later too. When she got the position, the office, she ran against her own boss, and she said her own boss was part of the corruption that she wants to go up against. Part of it being allowing the criminal activity of Donald J. Trump to happen under their nose without doing anything about it. When she got into office as well, which was the last 3 years, she was handed this case. She got this information. It's, on January 2nd is when, I believe January 2nd she was handed this case. January 6th, 2021 is when all the insurrection shit happened. She just got the case on January 2nd of the year. When her very first day on the job. Her full first official day on the job is when she was handed this damn case. So no, she couldn't have did this years ago because she just got the fucking case. And like I said, it takes some time to build up the case. Same thing with Jack Smith. Why the fuck are you going so slow, sir? Same thing with Jack Smith. He was handed the case. It's such and such date is when he was handed the case. I believe it was in 2020. Then he started to investigate. So of course, no, they could have did this years ago because they all just got their positions. Letitia Green, Jack Smith, Fonnie Willis, all just got their positions. Might have been Alvin Bragg too. I would have to look into that because I'm gonna have to look at that too. That everybody that got these positions, one of them I'm like really like just giddy about the fact that it's black women that are doing the damn thing in these cases, baby. I know Jack. I feel you, Jack, too. I'm with you there, Jack Smith, too. But the judge on that case is a black woman also. And then Alvin Bragg was a black man. I just take pride as a black woman. I'm just letting you know that right now. That might sound racist or whatever, or prejudice or whatever, but it is what the fuck it is. I am proud of my black people right now. In these cases. They gonna make fucking history, y'all. Either way, they finna make fucking history. And they the first ones to do it. And it just so happened it's happening at the same damn time. They all got their jobs around the same damn time. So anywho, what I was finna say about the damn case. So, like I said, the judge was saying that he ain't having this shit. The judge sound like a real New Yorker. Like the stereotypic image that you could think of New Yorkers, the branch way they talk, and there's like get the fuck out of here attitude. That's what I'm getting from this judge, and that's basically what he's saying. When he says that there will not be a two-tier justice system for the rich and the poor, that everybody's going to be treated the same way, he meant that shit, and he's not just putting him in the corner and saying, okay, but you can come out for a little bit. I don't want you standing there too long. Or he ain't saying I'm putting you on punishment, but still allowing you to go next door to your friend's house. He ain't doing that. He is saying, shut the fuck up. Do what the hell I tell you. I'm the authoritarian figure around here, and you're not finna violate my rules and regulations. If you do, it's gonna be consequences. Now, he didn't put a gag order on him talking about himself. He didn't put a gag order on him talking about Letitia James. Is it James or Green? I keep messing the lady name. Letitia. Shit, I keep messing the name up. I want to say it's Green. He didn't put a gag on him talking about her. So, after every break there was, Trump would still go out in the hallway and tell them news media about how much of an idiot everybody is and how deranged such and such person is and this, that, and the third, right? But when he came out there and put out that thing about that damn law clerk, the judge was like, oh, hell no. Because you can see it's a form of intimidation. And that's what they start low. They start at the lower echelon of folks. There's no jury for them to try to intimidate. And this judge is not to be intimidated. It's not to be intimidated at all. So the judge say, you know, consider this shit a gag order. Don't you ever say another thing about my law clerk, my people that are employed by me, officers, clerks of this court, you know, things like that. He said, don't say it. Don't even try it. Do it again and see what happens. Do it again. Try me. Fuck around and find out. That's what this judge said. So what did Trump do? Trump left New York. He left. Now, I told y'all this was a civil case, right? So in civil cases, he was not required to show up for court. However, he said he was going to show up to court to defend his name and his reputation. The only time that he spoke, though, was outside talking to the news media, which, of course, was all fake news. But he's using them to help, you know, speak to the masses, okay? So this particular time, he left with his tail tucked between his legs, his head hanging down. I told y'all in yesterday's video, people was like, oh, he looks sad, he looks angry. That's his fucking face. He trying to look intimidating. You know, he wouldn't look at Letitia the whole time they was in court. I think they made eye contact maybe one time, according to the news reports. Even though his son Eric went over there and shook her hand. I don't know if the rest of them going to show back up in court today. The court is Monday through Friday, child. It's going to be Monday through Friday for the next 3 months at least. But so I don't know if the rest of the Trumps are going to still show up in court. But Daddy Trump ain't coming back no more. He ain't showing up no more. He left with his tail tucked between his legs, got back on a flight and came back down here to Florida to his home in Mar-a-Lago that he still have. And after he left, he posted a message or sent out a message to his followers, his Maganites, his Maganoids, the idiots that support him, and said, I just left this unjust court. I'm not quoting, I'm paraphrasing. I just left the unjust court. You know, the ones who out there trying to get me with this fake lawsuit and everything. It ain't a fake lawsuit, baby. It's already been decided on. You're guilty. But he was going, and he said, but if y'all could be so kind as to help a brother out, donate me some money. He using all these funds, all these donations to help pay for his criminal cases. Like I said, they've been saying the man has overvalued all his money and his assets and stuff for years. Michael Cohen, his former lawyer, who, you know, got a serious hate for him at this particular time, has already came out and testified once upon a time and said that he'd been overvaluing everything. He said he was worth $1 billion. He was probably worth $1. You know, that's an estimate too. That ain't, because they don't need nobody suing me talking about he's only worth $1. But that's what he asking for, child. If y'all could give him some money, just give him at least $1. At least $1. If he get enough dollars from enough people, then he gonna have enough money he'll pay for his legal expenses. So I made a mistake too in another video when I said that he did the valuation off by $250 million. No, that's the damages that New York is seeking, $250 million. He's saying that there was no crime committed because nobody was harmed. Look here, if somebody hit my car and take off, whether my car was dented or not, that's still a crime. It's still a hit and run. Whether my car was damaged or not, but just the fact that somebody hit my car and then took off, it's still a hit and run. But I've never known, I was researching deeply too, I've never known them to say, I committed a crime, and just because I pay the money back, or I get the money back, the crime is wiped away. That don't happen like that. The crime is still being committed. You still committed the crime, Donnie. You still committed the crime. So I guess I'll research more. I'll find out more what's going on after court today. Like I said, because I'm not seeing any live footage of what's going on inside the court. Everything I'm seeing is what he leaves outside of the court. I'm quite sure a lot of the news media are going to die down today, knowing that he's already left. So you won't see as much news media there, but there will still be some people in the court to find out what's going on as far as the damages and everything else that he's being charged for. Okay, so this one is kind of like, this is on another YouTuber called BL Faceless. He's small time YouTuber. I think he only had maybe like 100 and something views, but this dude was a stunt bike person, and he used to put up videos on YouTube, basically doing dangerous stunts. Oh shit, girl, this car just almost tore this car up in front of me again, and then he motherfucker sped up to keep going. Oh, that person gonna get them. That person gonna get them. Ooh wee, because they still ain't on their, oh child. I do not need to witness another car accident on my way to work. I remember last time I was so torn up. I slowed all the fuck the way down. Dangerous stunts. Like that car that just came across traffic and almost went right into the side of that vehicle. That's what just happened. That's what this stunt person does. Intentionally. He intentionally drives around different people's cars and get close to your vehicle and everything, just so he can capture on video the stunts that he's doing. He even does it a lot to the Philly Police Department, and when they try to get out to try to detain him, whatever, he'll swipe his way through the vehicles. Okay, so the other day, they were doing this, him and his crew, the 610, whatever the fuck they call themselves, was riding in Philly. And he sideswiped a lady's car. They got into a verbal exchange. And from the verbal exchange, he got off his bike, jumped up on the back of her car, and crashed her back window in. Now, there was kids in the back seat. I believe they said there was 2 children, or at least one child. There was at least one child that I saw in the video that was in the back seat of that car. That glass crashed down in on, the back window glass. Okay, I saw this video on the Danish guy channel, on YouTube. I'm not YouTube, on IG. But it had also been put into the news. A lot of people have been contacting the police. The Danish guy, I love him. I was introduced by him by Tabitha Speaks. He basically, people do crazy shit. Karens do shit. People do racist stuff to each other, commit crimes that they think they ain't been seen for. He will find their face and blast their ass out there on social media. That's what he does, and I'm here for it. So, okay, so there was a tourist on a tour bus who caught everything on camera. In addition to catching that there was a police officer that was nearby that hadn't did anything. I found another video that was posted up by another channel on YouTube saying that it was BL Faceless who had did this, who had just sideswipe the fucking police car, and the police was arguing with him. The police tried to get out the car, and he dashed through the police car. This looks like the exact same police car, if I looked at the numbers that was on the car, that was seen in this video too. So it had to happen on the same day. But anywho, after he jumped on this girl's window, broke out her window, bringing the girl ass down on the kid that was in the back of the car, Lil Mama jumped out the car, baby, to confront him. As he was jumping off the back of his car, his gun that he had in his waistband fell, landed on the ground. He goes to pick up the gun, points the gun to her face. Her name is Nikki. I can't remember her last name. Points the gun to her face. She still advances towards this man. Now, either she saw the bitch in his eyes, or she just didn't have no fear at this point. She's protecting her kid. I didn't think it was her kid, because I saw one report that said she was a Lyft driver. However, they said that this is her child. She walked up with no fucking fear with that gun in her face. He nervously tucked the gun back into his waistband and headbutted her with the helmet. She kept coming at him. She was arguing at him, coming at him. She didn't swing or nothing like that, arguing at him. He decides to hop on his bike to try to ride away. She shoved him and pushed him off the bike. As when she did that, his whole crew surrounded them. I think Nikki at this point was thinking second thoughts, about saying or doing anything else, because all of his crew started to come up around him. One of them actually kicked her car as well. I hope they get that motherfucker too. There was a passenger in the car with her. You saw her grab the baby out of the car, and they were standing on the opposite side of the car. Nikki was leaning up on her car while all these bikers were swirling around her. Okay, so the Danish guy, like I said, he goes to find these different people's faces. Somebody from another biking crew had already found him. I want to say it was Outlaw, something like that. They had already found him, and they found out his name was John Carroll. Okay, from that search, because you know I'm nosy and I like to research too, I started searching for John Carroll too. Come to find out, John Carroll, his real name was Cody. I didn't find this out before Danish did though. His real name was Cody. And the word got put out on the street all over. This dude is steady riding up on me. Why, sir? You can't go no fucking where. I can't go no fucking where. So, Cody. They tracked down Cody Heron. That was his doggone name. He is, appears to be a white boy, but look, when I look through his family photos, he looked like he may have some, either Latino background or indigenous background to him. You know, looking at his parents, it don't even matter. There was one particular guy, his friend came on and really kind of ousted him and said that did a whole video ranting and raving about the fact that if he would have did that to him, he'd have got his ass shot. He was wrong as fuck for doing that and trying to beat up young inmate because the girl appeared to be stud. Okay, so he calling her young inmate and try to poke fun of the fact that she's possibly a lesbian, this, that, and the third. And then he gonna say that we bitches for continuously tagging him on IG and reporting him to the police, that, and the third. Well, at this particular time, I don't think the police was really taking things seriously, but people was tagging news stations, and the news was indeed reporting it. ABC News, I think CNN News, a lot of people was reporting it. And Philly police finally got that ass baby. They caught up to him. And I want to say that he has a $2.5 million bond that he must pay in order to get his ass out of jail. $2.5 million. Hold on, y'all, I'm at work. So yeah, $2.5 million. He's gonna be in jail for a long time, and the people of Philly is mad. Don't let the people in jail in Philly find out that he did this shit and there was a child that was involved. You know how criminals somehow like to protect children. And there's women and children too, regardless if she was a lesbian, but still women and children. Yeah, people like to protect them. So I'm just saying, Cody Heron, aka John Carroll, was the alias that he was using. John Carroll was still him, but it was the alias that he was using to try to, put on social media because of all the stupid stunts that he would do, which actually were illegal. I don't believe he's getting charged for the gun, so the gun must have been legal. They do have a conceal and carry type of that they're allowed to do in the state of Philadelphia. He's originally from New Jersey, but he was living in Philadelphia. I got the man address. That's how deep I was diving. I found it too, but I ain't sure that anyway. Yeah, they got his ass. There was another person that fucked around and found out. Okay. I mean, they showing their ass. Everybody in this video basically fucked around and found out. Y'all thought that y'all was above the law. Y'all thought y'all was getting away with some shit, and you fucked around and found out. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.